This hearing will come to order. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our nation's capital. I am so pleased to convene this biennial hearing in conjunction with the Breakthrough T1D 2025 Children's Congress. It's wonderful to host you and your families at the Senate Appropriations Committee. As the founding co-chair of the Senate Diabetes Caucus, I have long promoted diabetes research as one of my top priorities. Your advocacy for life-changing research to prevent, treat, and ultimately cure type 1 diabetes inspires me. Looking out at this field of blue inspires me, but looking at your faces inspires me even more. Over the years, I have met so many wonderful children living with type 1. Individuals such as my summertime neighbor, Ruby Whitmore, who is going to be testifying today, Carolyn Cordoza from Brunswick, Maine, who is 6 and joins us as a delegate, Aiden Sweeney, whom I first met when he was only age 4, and now he is age 23. There's so many more, including our New Hampshire delegate, Rachel White, who is also testifying today. And there are adults who are living with type 1 as well, including Nicole Wiesendunger, a teacher who has lived with diabetes for more than 37 years and happens to be married to my nephew. I told Nicole I'd work her in. More than 170 delegates have traveled to Washington from across the United States and 5 other countries to share with members of Congress their personal stories of what it is like to live with type 1 diabetes. And I want to tell you how much your personal stories really matter. They motivate and educate senators and House members to get involved and to support funding for the research that is necessary to deliver new treatments, more effective technologies, and one day a cure. Let me tell you about my very first meeting with a family who had a son with type 1 diabetes. I was a brand new senator. It was back in 1997. They came to my Portland, Maine office, and this little boy looked up at me and he said, "I wish I could just take one day off from having diabetes, my birthday or Christmas, just one day." But of course, he could not. And type 1 diabetes today is a disease that one can never outgrow. But I am confident that that is going to change. Just this morning, 6-year-old Carolyn Cardoza from Brunswick, Maine, told me that she is a warrior for the cause of finding a cure for diabetes. So these personal stories are why I started the bipartisan Senate Diabetes Caucus in 1997. Since we started the caucus, and it's been bipartisan from the beginning, because diabetes doesn't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat or an independent or a Green or what. We have made some real progress. It has been exciting. Federal funding for diabetes research has increased from $319 million in 1997 to more than $2.3 billion. That's due to your advocacy, and that includes a $10 million increase enacted just last year. These investments are yielding results. One program in particular has led to technologies that will allow better control of diabetes. That is the Special Diabetes Program at the National Institutes of Health. And how lucky we are to have Dr. Rogers joining us again this year. This critical program provides $160 million a year for type 1 diabetes research, supplementing the regular appropriations for diabetes. In 2017, the Special Diabetes Program led to the development of the first ever FDA-approved artificial pancreas that can control blood glucose levels automatically. And I'm curious, how many of you here today are using the continuous glucose monitor? All right, that's wonderful. That shows the difference that the research can make. More recently, clinical trial data resulting from an SDB-supported clinical islet transplantation consortium have contributed to the development of the first ever stem cell-based research and treatment for type 1 diabetes. This was developed through research by Dr. Doug Melton at Harvard University, who has 2 children with type 1 and was determined to find a cure. So here's the exciting news, which Dr. Rogers will talk about further today. Of the 12 individuals enrolled in the clinical trial, 10 of them no longer need insulin after 1 year. Imagine that. So today we can be ever more hopeful that one day we will live in a world where type 1 diabetes can be cured. Another important component of the program, which I know is of particular interest to the senator from Alaska, supports prevention and treatment services for American Indians and Alaskan Natives who experience type 2 diabetes at nearly 3 times the national average. The Special Diabetes Program must be extended against this year, otherwise it expires in September. We worked together to secure the first funding increase for the SDP in 20 years, but we've got to extend the program altogether. I've introduced legislation with the co-chair of the caucus, Senator Jeanne Shaheen, to reauthorize this program through the end of 2027. So as you make your visits today, please ask members to co-sponsor that bill so that the Special Diabetes Program does not expire in September. Let me close by saying how it's truly inspiring it is to look out and see all of the children who are here today, their parents and loved ones who have come to DC to share your personal stories and to continue advocating for increased research funding so that we speed up the search for a cure. Your passion and hope for a cure gives us the confidence that it will happen. Thank you so much for being here today. And